Okay, thanks, John. How have you been?
Good, thank you.
That's good. Okay, so we're here to discuss today a program I've put together on your behalf for some training for one of your volunteers. So I understand that this girl's been volunteering with you since about she's in grade 9, but that you want NRM want her to get a qualification so that she can actually be employed by you.
Yep.
And you're going to cover the cost of that training for her. And you asked me to put together a training package for her. So I'd like to go through what I've come up with and just get your opinion on whether you think we've picked the right units or if there's something missing that you would like in there.
Sure.
So there are two options, I thought. There's Certificate 3 in Conservation and Land Management, and there's Certificate 2. And I'm thinking she'd be better off in Certificate 2. She didn't complete Year 12.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Certificate 2 would be more appropriate at this stage.
Yeah, and it's just for her to reach kind of employment standards. So
yeah,
I thought,
Certificate 2 is fine.
Okay. So in this unit, there's no entry requirements, so she can just slot straight in, but there are 15 units of competency she has to do. 2 are core and 13 are elective. So the elective units we have some flexibility around, but not the core units. So they're the 2 core units: participate in work health and safety processes, participate in environmentally sustainable work practices.
Yep.
So from the brief you sent me about the work that you do, these are the other units I'm suggesting. Recognise fauna, so to be able to identify and talk about the local native animals.
Yep, so that'll be specific locally?
Totally,
yep.
And it has to be assessed locally in the environment, so very local. The second one is around your working with Aboriginal groups locally and trying to build relationships with them and share knowledge and care of country. So this one's called Record Information About Country, but it's just actually learning about the protocols and the guidelines around how to manage the Indigenous knowledge and how to do that respectfully and according to their protocols. The next one, carry out natural restoration works, so revegetation projects. The next one is maintain wildlife habitat refuges, so similar thing. Next one, I thought about collecting native seed so that she can support the revegetation projects.
Yep.
So that would be learning how to do that. The next one is planting trees and shrubs, which would be pretty critical, would you think?
Yep.
Treat weeds. So there's some knowledge there she has to gain based on some Tasmanian legislation about managing poisons and weeds.
Yep.
The next one, recognise plants. So know her local native plants. The next one, conduct erosion and sediment control activities. Just I thought where you're working in the riparian zone, that would be good knowledge.
Yep, and other sites, just making sure they're laid out properly to avoid erosion problems.
Yeah. This one is participate in workplace communications. So although it's more office-based, I think it would be handy for her. It's things like following instructions, knowing workplace procedures, completing relevant documents.
Yeah, sure.
So that'll be pretty important. The next one, inspect and clean machinery for plant, animal and soil materials. So just about hygiene practices.
Yep.
The next one, apply chemicals under supervision.
Yep.
And the next one, provide first aid in remote situations.
Yep.
That one there, we would have to source out to a first aid
like St. John's or something.
Yeah, because you have to have a whole list of specific first aid materials at hand to do the testing, and you also, because it's remote.
Yeah, okay. So that's beyond just the standard workplace first aid.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I haven't included is anything about fire management. So at this point, do you think you would want that in the training package?
No,
Is it?
I don't think so. I mean, I like that list. It looks like it follows a lot of the core work that we do and that we'd be expecting her to be involved in. I wouldn't try and make it too broad. There's nothing in there particularly that I'd want to drop to put fire management stuff in. I mean, she can be involved in some of that through work, and that can be a future thing. I think that's one of the advantages of going for that Cert 2 to start with. It's like not trying to overwhelm her with everything or train her to be with us for life or anything.
I think they're very practical. Will support
they look really good.
The work that you do. Okay. There's a little bit of legislation there we'd need to keep in mind. So it's the Tasmanian Agricultural and Veterinary Chemical Code Act. That's for the Applying Chemicals Unit. In environmental sustainable work practices, we'd need to be looking at the EPBCA Act and National Parks and Wildlife Act.
Sure.
And all the units are to be assessed in relevant workplace conditions. So if you look here at the assessment tasks, a lot of them are just kind of observation on the job, teaming up with somebody and then putting in a third-party report, or them actually doing something or preparing a report.
Yep, that sounds reasonable. I mean, that's one of the good things. Like, all of those seem particularly relevant to the work that we do and that she's doing, so it should be, ticking them off should be straightforward. There's nothing there that's too out of the ordinary that I can see.
Yeah. I think that's it. So if that suits you, we can put that together and formalise this document, and then we can talk details about her actual enrolling and getting assessed on it.
Yep, no, that'd be great. Thanks. I'd like to proceed with that.
Okay, thank you.